Okay, hi. So since last time, I've done a lot of stuff on the AI side of things. Um, Pretty excited about that. It's got a voice now, so that's kind of cool. And I'm going to try to get my voice, so text to speech and speech to text working. But today I'm going to talk about scaling. And since last time, I've actually printed out a lot. Hopefully there's a picture somewhere over here. Get the chest piece, the upper rib cage, lower rib cage, and the cod piece. Those are all printed out, and the helmet is completely printed out at this point too. The helmet is also motorized at this point, which is cool. However, I've yet to connect it to anything AI related. I figured just get the basics done and then we'll work up from there. But I wanted to talk today a little bit how I scaled things. There are way better tutorials out there on how to scale things. This is just me fumbling through existence. Okay, so the helmet. I started off printing at 100%, meaning this is exactly how the STL file came. And it does fit, right? Like there's an argument to say that this works, but once I put the motors in here, dog bark, once I put the motors in here, there's no room for my head, and it actually hurt to put the helmet on. So then I tried to do things properly. I printed out some cosplay calibers, just simple. It's very loose. I have to hold it with my fingers, but I was able to do something like this. And I figured out that my fattest part of my head is about 15 centimeters. With that information, I was able to come over here. I think this is still scaled up, yeah. So I was able to come over here and I was able to look at, okay, where's a good skinny spot for me to try to measure how far across does my head need to be. So Orca Slicer has this measuring tool, which is really, really cool. And this tells me that the distance between these 2 points is about 15 centimeters, which you would think is perfect, but that leaves no room for padding, which is very thin, but still I wanted to be able to have padding on all sides of my head so that it was comfortable. So I was like, okay, I need to scale this up, and I was torn. I scaled it up to 105 and I remeasured. Pick a point. And so this is about 17 centimeters. And I figured that that was probably enough. And sure enough, afterwards, once I get it all printed, it seemed like it fits pretty well. You can see it's printed out. I can actually get my head inside of here without removing the chin piece, but I got big ears. Kind of hurts my ears. So if I hold this correctly, this pops off, and yeah, that fits me really well. I already got padding in here, so it doesn't really like to move. It's motorized if I plugged it in. So pretty happy with how this turned out. So yeah, once I got the helmet piece, then it was time for the armor. So the armor itself is trickier, right? Because there's a lot of different areas you have to measure on your body, in different ways too. So what I did is I ended up printing one piece out, which I think I got rid of. No, I ended up printing this out. So this was scaled to some size, I forget, I think 90%. And the reason why I got that number is I took the calibers again and I measured across my chest area, and then using the same method tried to say, okay, is it close? And technically I think it does fit. And I was like, okay, I think this could be the number. But then I went ahead and I was like, okay, but I don't want to waste a lot of filament because this is going to be a very expensive mistake if I just went with it. I already printed this out. So what I did is I had my wife take a bunch of pictures of me from all angles using some app I found on the Android Play Store. What I was able to do with that is get a 3D model. So you can see this beautiful 3D model of me with what you can see is the armor on. It's actually pretty cool. It's kind of creepy looking. I don't know. But this was enough to say that the original scaling that I had left a huge gap in my waist area, which that doesn't work. So I scaled it again from here, and I did 95% versus whatever that was. 95% seems to be decent. My only issue with it, really, it looks pretty, is that when I put it on, can't really bend this way. And everything else about it is pretty good. So what I think I'm going to do, if you can see, let me switch cams. If you can see this part right here, I think I want to make that like TPU or a flexible filament, because that's the only thing that's holding me back. Other than that, lengthwise, this fits pretty well. So how did I get the length? After I did the blender thing, I went ahead and did test rings, which aren't really rings because they're just lines because it's so small. As I look around for the rest of the test pieces. So what I did is literally I just printed a line on the cosplay, on the armor, from my neck down, and I held it up to my body. It was really awkward, and I was like, okay, I think this works. After that, then I started printing and hope for the best. I think it's gonna work out. I need to print the backside now, but yeah, that's how I did it. If you want like real tutorials on how people do this, definitely search YouTube. There's way better people at explaining things than I. Other than that, I think that's it for this. Till next time.